Hello and welcome to another Wednesday audio tutorial with me, Harry Quinn. This time we're going to be looking at the first guitar solo from my new single, Make Believe. The main thing I want to focus on is the fact that there is a room mic in addition to the close-up mic on the amplifier. Obviously it all depends on your track and the circumstances, but in this case I really think that it makes a big difference to hype up and extend and improve the overall sound. So let's look at some more of the details. Here we go. Here's the sound of the first 4 bars of the guitar solo with the room mic. And here's the sound of the guitar solo without that room mic. Let's take a quick look at the plugins on that room mic channel. So in addition to the SM57 that's close up to the amp, the close mic, we have a room mic which was a pencil condenser pointed at the amp but just a few meters away in this room that you see behind me. But I've also put a Studio Alpha large chamber at 30% via the Valhalla Room reverb plugin. You can definitely hear the difference between those two examples that I've just shown. Let's also look at the plugins that I put on the combination of these tracks. So the close mic and the room mic are fed to a bus in my Logic session, and we're going to go plugins 2 by 2 and take a look. So firstly, we're just brightening up the guitar and taking out some low end, and secondly we have a tape plugin at 50%, which is quite a strong setting if you know this plugin, but it's also mixed at 50% wet signal, 30 IPS, and this saturation is sort of threshold, or the overall threshold of the plugin is taken down here. Okay, next we have an SSL plugin, cutting some low end, cutting some high end, adding a bit more of the high end back up at 7 kHz. Bit more brightness at 4.2 kHz, and adding more of a shelf, more of a controlled shelf this time from the previous taking away by 1.4 decibels. We've got some light compression, you don't see it on the meter, and the second plugin in that chain, in this block of plugins, is some surgical cutting of resonances and peaks in the top end, and also reducing yet further, confining the very top end of the guitar solo. Okay, and the next section of plugins, we have this Kazrog saturation plugin. It's a transformer emulation. In this case I've gone for the initial setting. You'll have to look at the manual to get more information, but essentially I'm adding more saturation, hype, so more of a compressed feeling to the sound, and then that's mixed at 72.9%, and then that's been put deliberately with that mode in front of an optical compressor, because that transformer in the Kazrog plugin is supposed to emulate the input transformer of an optical compressor. So we're using the Fab filter optical mode compression, 10 millisecond attack, 153 millisecond release, which will be in time with the rest of the song, which I typically do, ratio 3:1, with a high pass in the compression sidechain, just to tame the guitar. Obviously compressing an electric guitar has pros and cons. Okay, and finally in this little chain of plugins we have the last two. We've got a decapitator adding some saturation, taking a bit of the low end out of the saturation signal path there, and the top end as well, so we haven't got so much fizz happening, taking the tone down a bit, 3.6 on the input drive. Finally we have a clipper, which also is a sort of a saturation. It's a bit of a black box, this one, the Joey Sturgis tones. It's input of 3, and then I've trimmed down the output by 3 as well. And something that I have had on in this demonstration, which essentially is some parallel compression on the electric guitar solo, which I also apply to other things, so it's a common bus shared. Let's have a look at the Music Crush. That again is a Kazrog emulating the input of an 1176 transformer into, lo and behold, an emulation of an 1176 in the FabFilter compression plugin. Effectively the slowest attack of what you would see on a 1176 at 0.8 milliseconds. Obviously these things are to taste, and then 76.73 millisecond release. Again, that's in time with the tempo of the song. This song is at 98 beats per minute. I should also mention that you've been hearing a plate reverb, a tape slap, a slightly distorted tape slap, and also some general delays happening for this guitar solo, which you could probably already tell. And that's about it. Let's take a listen again to the full solo. Hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you want to see in the next video. Thank you.